Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As you can tell by my face, I've been trying to sleep for a while because I have like this hangover of sleep, of dreaming. I need to rest more because it's been like 15 days running up and down through pyramids and temples since early in the morning. So that's my face. And of course, having this face, this tired face, it couldn't be another topic than dream for the end of Pisces. So my physical and emotional state of tiredness has been a key for sure to understand today in the pyramid what was the topic for this last day. So of course that the dream, the concept of dream will have to be spoken through three different aspects, which kind of can show the three main parts of the toroid, which is the day for today. So one going up to the spiritual level, the other one going down to the physical level, and the other one in the center, in the soul. Because I'm a little bit sleepy, I will take the board so I don't lose the point. These days, I wasn't using the board because I had no idea why to use it. So we will have three concepts of dreaming. So here we have the toroid, and remember the upper part is the spiritual dream, okay? The idea of the spiritual. Then in the middle, the soul, the dreams of the soul, and then the dreams which is related to sleep, is the physical aspect of dreaming. So now put your mind into the physical aspect. So take the idea of the dreams of the soul, the dreams of the spirit. We will take that later. So now we will just have in mind the dreams of the body. So once I explain the importance of sleeping for the body, and what is the importance? It's important because when we live our daily life, we are wasting a lot of energy. We use too much energy all the day, all the time. Why? Because we are, when we are awake, when we are living our daily life, we are living through our five senses. And the five senses are constantly trying to reach information, to take data from the entire environment where we are moving through in order to survive in that environment, to know where we are, to have an idea of the space we are moving through. So because of this, the body needs a lot of energy, and the cells are working so much trying to reach that information, to be aware of everything that is happening, that there is a moment that the body needs to rest in order to help the cells to regenerate, to transform, and to keep going. Okay, so that's the moment of sleeping. So we explained a few time ago that everything in the universe is moving through waves. It's constantly moving in waves. So positive, negative, it is like kind of a spiral where the energy moves up and down once and again. And why is like this? Because if we move the energy in a straight line, the thing that puts all the strength in order to move forward, it will have the force at the beginning, but then it starts to lose the energy until it stops. There's no way to follow because the main push was at the beginning. But when something has a push to the positive and then goes down into the negative, it suddenly has strength to move again, like a pulse, okay, to move to the next one and the next one and the next one and so on. So we need the negative in order to keep moving faster, to keep the constant of movement in the universe. That's why the light moves like in a spiral. That's why the particles moves like this. So now when we speak about time will be also moved like in a wave, but in an eternal cycle. So it's constant. La otra constante, ¿cuál era? El espacio. Entonces tenemos tiempo y tenemos espacio. So we have two constants. One is time, the other one is space. So when we have this positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative in between time and space, what we have here is that we will have always a positive and a negative between time and space, creating something in the middle, like if it is the DNA with the genes inside. So this is a third-dimensional being living between the polarity. So now this is a constant movement of energy. Okay, so because of this constant movement of energy, each one of these beings living between the positive and the negative will have to move forward into the next one, into the next part of the wheel. So because of this, one of these beings has to die. And when it dies, it borns again, and dies, and borns again, and dies, and borns again. So it's like a wheel constantly moving of many beings that die, resurrect, and so on. Die, borns, die, borns. So this movement of time and space is the one that explains why we have to die and to be born again. Also, why we live periods of consciousness and periods of unconsciousness. Why we have sometimes that we are aware of things and why we are living times where we have no idea of anything. Is a constant of this process. So the other day I was talking with someone about this idea of positive and negative, that she made the question, why the Atlantis civilization, if it was so aware and had so much evolution, it fell down. And what about us? If we are now rising up in consciousness again, this means that it will happen exactly the same to us in the future. So the answer is this. It's natural. It's not about if we do it right or we do it wrong. It's about the cycles. Sometimes you wake up, sometimes you go to sleep. It's natural. Sometimes you are aware, sometimes you are unconscious. This is Atlantis rising up, the falling of Atlantis. This is the Perseus going up, falling. Egyptians falling. Roman Empire, the fall of Roman Empire. And now. So this is constant. Is a constant wave. This is natural. This is not about if you did it wrong or bad. This is natural. So this explains that our goal is not to be constantly up there in the consciousness. Our goal is to learn how to sleep properly and not to have a nightmare. Our goal is to flow with the process, not to be stuck in one idea. So the reason why these empires have fell down is because they don't respect the time of going to sleep, basically. So if we know how to go to sleep, there's no need for suffering or nightmare. This is an example to understand that there is no need for us to stay constantly here and believe that we have to attach ourselves to the moment of consciousness, that we have to learn also the importance of going to sleep. The reason why usually we suffer this part of here, the negativity, the going down, is because we are still attached to be here, up, in the positive, in the consciousness, trying to live like that constantly, living in the past. But if we allow ourselves to rest, we will enjoy this part. And not to sleep well is basically to be attached to the past. Being positive here doesn't mean that this is good. This means that we are attached to the idea of something should be permanent. Like, for example, if I like summer, many parts of the planet, they can't stand being summer all the time. So the plants need to rest. So autumn, winter are the key for many beings and plants to survive, to have another summer. We need the process of going to sleep in order to wake up. So nature works always by cycles. Even it has two, positive, negative, or many of them, thousands of them through generations. So this is why it's so important to sleep, because when we go down to sleep, we take the energy to go up, to wake up, go sleep, wake up. If we don't go to sleep, we never wake up. If we are constantly waking up, it's terrible for ourselves. We don't have the time to regenerate our bodies. So when we understand this process of going up, going down, waking up, going to sleep, we will now understand that the cells are every day using its energy to understand everything that happens around. So it reaches one point that the body says, I can't get this anymore. So I need to regenerate the cells so they can keep going. So that's why the brain starts to shut up the system. So we stop at being concentrated into the outside through the senses, and we go to sleep so the cells can work to regenerate and to make the organs work for themselves, to think to the inside the body. It tries to regenerate the strength and the energy of the body so we can wake up again. So now when this moment of going to sleep happens, every cell is trying to share information to restore the data of the body for the next day. So the brain is not an exception. The brain is doing exactly the same. Remember that the brain is storing data and information throughout the entire day, even data that we are not aware of. The brain is receiving all that data through the five senses. So when the brain shut off the system, so we go to sleep, so the five senses go to sleep from the outside, the brain is exchanging data, information from the cells, which are the neurons. The neurons are sharing data, information to try to organize all the data that was storing during the day. So it was capturing all this information during the day, and during the night it organized in different layers, in different folders, all this information. In this sense, what happens is that the neurons creates this electrical pulses that shares this data while we are sleeping, so it can restore this information for the next day. So the next day, so the brain, as every cell in the body are regenerating energy for the next day, the brain does the same, trying to take the information from the cells, from the data of the brain, so it could be useful for the next day. And that's what we call dreams. It's a parallel reality within. So now remember this, we have spoken about the senses. Remember that the senses are, the way in which the senses work is by capturing information by pulses, electrical pulses, that are translated by the brain to understand the environment. So actually nothing actually is real outside, but is only the interpretation of your brain. Okay. So it's your brain interpreting the reality. If we take this idea that the brain is the only one that really perceives the reality from the outside, now when we go to sleep, we can understand this, the logic of dreams. The brain is still working, even if the senses are shut down. The brain is still working. So this means that the perception of the reality is still awakened. And all the information that is inside of the brain is still working, trying to organize data. So if my brain is the one that perceives the reality, is the only one that can perceive the reality, and the brain is still working while I sleep, so I can live that reality that the brain is feeling. Okay, so that's the dream. The dream is that we can feel, perceive, sense, live the realities that the brain is organizing. And the reason why they are so weird is because the brain is not aware of what is happening outside. It's just exchanging data for the future, for stuff that maybe are useful for the future. Okay, so it organizes all this data, and in the moment when we dream is when the neurons are like doing the connections of exchanging information. So that's why, I don't know, we mix cleaning the house with an elephant, and suddenly we have an elephant inside the house. So weird dreams, because our brain is trying to organize the data that we saw that day, or that we are thinking about that day. So once we understand this process of the physical dream, this physical sleeping process, we can see how the brain, in order to storage that information, sends signals to the body to react, because the hormones are the ones that will storage that information for the cells. So once the brain had organized this information, shares this information with the glands, so the glands can tell to the rest of the body, this data we will need, this data is needed, and so on, okay? So this awakens what we call the dream of the soul. The dream of the soul is the moment when the emotion comes in. So the hormones, the ones that produce the emotions in our body, start to determine the dreams that we have in our brain. They shape the idea of the dreams because we take that information from the cells, and all that data that we have been storing in the subconscious and the unconscious is show up in the brain. All the information that is in every one of the cells are brought again to us. Okay? So that's why when we sleep, the dreams can tell us about many things that we are not aware during our daily life, like emotions in our unconscious, information from many lives, from our family, connections in the emotional way, in the energetical body, from many dimensions, and so on. Is the soul that is showing us the information that we have within in many different layers. So as you see, it's not exactly like thinking that the soul is going away from the body, and that's what we dream, the realities that are around in other dimensions. It's all the same, it's all connected. Okay, so it's like it's when the brain orders or organized information, shares that data, the hormones shares data, organized information, and suddenly we have this connection. During all this process of the day, when we store data, when we receive the information, during all this time, we are storing so much data that we don't even know about. Basically, during our days, we are aware of less than the 10% of all the information that we are receiving in our brain. The rest, we are not even aware of that. We have no idea of it. So the brain, during the night, tries to organize all that data, combine all this information. And by doing that, it creates calculations of probabilities just in case something could happen. So all this data is tried to organize somehow so it can tell you, be aware of this, be aware of what could happen in the future. And that's when you have these dreams that tells you about the future. I don't know how to say in English, premonitorio, premonition, maybe, dreams. Okay. When you have these premonitions of the future, when you sleep, it's like these different timelines and spaces that we don't even think about, and they are all trying to organize in your brain. So also in this process of connection and storage in data, we can also expand ourselves, remembering that we have these connections with many others, that we are all connected in a network. So we can start to download information from the environment, not only us. In this way is when we maybe start to feel an invasion of information, like the body tries to protect, and that's the dream paralysis, when you like cannot move. It's like the body trying to protect itself from the outer things. So also when I start to connect to this reality inside of me, and I realize that I am dreaming, I can also start to control the information inside and organize that information as I would love to. So that's the lucid dreams, when you connect with your own ideas, and you know how to handle them in dreams. Also, when we start to practice this, like for example, when we go to sleep, think very much in the idea that you want to work on, or to find, or to do. So your brain starts to program for sleeping to show you that information, so you can move freely inside your mind. When we of course we of course can go beyond that, and when we practice the conscious dreaming, we can also start to manage to open the soul to other dimensions in the fourth dimension, no time, no space. So we can open to the astral levels. So going into the astral levels would be like managing to go to sleep without sleeping, being aware of the senses, but not letting the brain to sleep at all. So in that moment, your brain can open up to the other realities of the soul, so you can use your connection to the network of the brain into different realities around, and that's an astral projection. Okay, the astral projection would be using this ability of the brain to add to storage and to organize information, but spread that information to others, to other astral planes. So this is kind of the main explanation, of course. But if you want to practice this, to know how to do it, to maybe know steps to how to practice this, there are many people that for sure will help you, because they work with this, they do workshops, they teach how to do it. So just look for this. So we have these two concepts of the physical dream, the emotional dream. Okay, you have the idea, kind of. So now the brain, talking about the spiritual way of dreaming. The brain is a constant machine of organizing data. So when all this data is being organized, it creates a synapses of information that we call intelligence. Intelligence comes from the word inte, that means between, and legend, that means to read. So to read in between lines, that's the meaning of intelligent. So the brain is constantly creating intelligent links. And this means that the brain, through the dreaming, gives us tools to see the reality in a very different way from which we see it in our daily life. It shows us different options that we couldn't see when we were awakened. So the dreams shows us ways in which we can bring the ideas from our head to the outside and manifest our dreams. The spiritual level of dream is when we can interpret the dream, making it into an idea and project it to the outside, making it happen, making our dreams true. So the spiritual world, the spiritual aspect of the dreaming, is the one that says, I have a dream. Is the one that says, inside of me, I have an idea. I have something inside, a clear idea of what I expect for it to be. And I am willing to manifest it outside. So that's the concept of having a dream, for your life. This is why, for good or for bad, a lot of people in history has changed the history because of a dream. They spoke with the pillow, kind of, to take a decision. So the information from the outside is so much that you have no idea how to organize it, so you go to sleep, so your brain can show you a different way. So the importance of this kind of dreaming is basically because without it, we wouldn't be here. The reason why we exist, we are humans, is because of the dream. We became different from other animals in this planet because we had the ability to manifest our dreams, the dreams that we have within. We started to manifest it outside. So that made us create cultures, civilizations, religions, arts, science, technology. All the things that we have today, that we are, was because of the intelligence of the brain creating dreams. The dream is the result of the interpretation of the outer world by our brain. So this is why a dream can also transform the outer world. So the last and great message from Pisces to close this day, this month of Pisces, is that basically we live in a dream. Everything is a dream because we interpret the world through our brain. So everything is a dream, and we are dreamers. And we project the future because of our dreams. So this is why the message for this entire month, in order to integrate all the senses of empathy, to integrate all the emotions that makes us be who we are, to understand the multidimensionality that we have within, we need to learn how to dream. We have to stop being the dream of others and become the dreamer of our own reality. We have to learn how to dream being awakened. So with this, we give thanks to the month of Pisces for reminding us the importance of dreaming. The vibration for today is T. So it's the sound T, T, tin. This is the sound T first. The statement for today is, I am the eternal manifestation. The code for today, of course, as if we planned that, but we didn't, is Pisces. And it says, after knowing all the histories, cultures, and people, by feeling them all, deigns itself to love them without any judgment over their own stories, their connections, giving everything it has to share all the possible love, submerging in the intensity of all things, like an ocean where the fish see themselves contained in infinity. At the service of love, nothing really matters more than letting themselves go on the currents of love for everything, over the idea of being one with the cosmos. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and breathe. I concentrate in the breathing. I start to massage and caress my body from my feet to my head, acknowledging each part of it. I begin by my feet and legs. I follow by the genitals, hips, and waist. By the back, chest, hands, arms, and shoulders. Neck, face, and head. Take a deep breath, setting pressure in all your body, holding the breath and letting go, relaxing, breathing out. Again, the pressure, hold and let it go. I start to yawn. Yawn as much as possible, all you can, and feel with each yawning the energy moving around, which parts relax, which part it recharges of energy when you do it. I feel how my body relaxes when I yawn. And I become aware of the dreams that I used to dream through many times in my life, and I bring them with my imagination. When I perceive these dreams that repeat themselves once and again through my life, I recognize that they are showing me something that must have order within me. What do I feel when I remember them? Take a deep breath and try to think about what is your dream for your life. What is the dream that you want to make true? And picture it, imagine it becoming real. And I become aware that I am a dreamer, that I can manifest my dream, for I am a manifested dream. I become aware of my physical, emotional, and spiritual dreams, and I expand them in this torus around, setting the intention to manifest them. I vibrate. I am the eternal manifestation. I am the eternal manifestation. I am the eternal manifestation. I believe I am the dream and the dreamer. I am the manifested dream. To dream, awaken. I believe. Take a deep breath and start to bring all this consciousness through your body by stretching and yawning. And each one at its own time, come back here and now. Thank you, everybody, for having accompanied me another month in the path of the I Am. Thank you, and see you tomorrow at the same time to begin with the month of Aries.